You know, you gotta give it to us Americans. It's not really our fault. We were kind of born into an idiot system. We were born into a stupid school system that taught us to be stupid. We were born into religions that taught us to be stupid. And we didn't know that our government was really controlling us so much. And we actually were taught that we were free, and us idiots believed it. So, you know, we'll figure it out sooner or later. Yeah, we actually thought that like voting actually mattered and that it actually like made a difference.
And that anyone could be a president.
Yeah.
Yeah, we thought anyone could, but actually you have to be a part of a certain family bloodline in order to do that.
We were taught a totally different system of measurement and degrees and temperatures. Like, why the heck would they do that? They wanted us to be idiots. It worked! Oh my goodness! Look at it! Wow! I mean, come on. We were raised by parents that believed that the moon landing was real. Like, I've seen those videos. Like, come on. But, you know, I kind of learned to doubt. I grew up and learned to doubt and, like, question everything. And, you know, they didn't like me in school. They threw me out in the hall. They kicked me out of class. They didn't like me in church or Sunday school because I would just ask questions that they weren't ready to answer. We were taught that like we were the best in the world and we were the best country and that all these other countries sucked and they were horrible and mean and cruel, and it doesn't look like it's that way now. What's going on? It looks like we were the terrorists this whole time, terrorizing the world when you really look into all that.
Seriously, it's so ridiculous. We were the ones always fighting all the wars and...
Yeah, the war against drugs, like, man, so many people are locked up in the United States because the system is so rigged. The for-profit prisons, like the same people that own the prisons own the schools so that they teach us to go to prison? What?
Because then they get free labor. It's brilliant, right? Lock people up for doing something bad, and then they get to exploit them for free. They don't have to pay them.
The lawmakers, like, owning prisons for profit and then making laws that put more people in there so they can make more profit. You know, it's not our fault. We were born idiots. We were raised in an idiot system, raised to be idiots.
We were raised to obey, sit down, obey, and repeat what you're told.
Shut up and repeat, but why? They didn't like that question. But why? What does that mean? Tell me. The teachers didn't even know. Said, get out of class, David. You're disrupting the place. And we were taught to be mean to each other. We were taught to be mean to our brothers and beat each other up and like be better than them and make fun of them and shame and guilt them and give them shit. Like, what the heck is up with that? We were taught so much like not right stuff. And then there was that lie. The harder you work, the more you'll get paid. Wow, they fooled us, getting us to work harder and work harder and work harder so that we would think we might get some more coins. Jeez, man.
You pay more taxes.
Yeah, then they just take more from us. Make more, take more. It's like, what? Then we're taxed before we're taxed, after we're taxed, before we're taxed, so that we could be taxed again. And we threw tea in the Boston Tea Party into the river for that. And now it's like crazy. What? And then they tell us history? And what? As we've stepped out of that matrix and all of that bullshit, like, we really see how hilarious it all is. And then even down here in Mexico, they are super controlled by the religion too. And it was just made to dumb us down and to control. And it makes no sense to me how takeover would come happen, and they would destroy your people, your relatives, your ancestors, and put these churches in place, and they still go to them. Like,
And
what?
they defend, like, even if they don't go to them, they defend the culture of it.
Yeah, the culture of the church that took over and destroyed their culture. They celebrate it happily. Okay. It's nice to be awake and to see through all of it. And there's this big old church right here. Look at my profile. There's all sorts of really amazing churches we go to. And this one, big church, bunch of rooms, and there's homeless people outside. Like, what is the reason for the church? Huh. Well, we're gonna go walk in and find out. Yeah, more idols. Did you see that? Like, let's worship a corpse on a cross nailed to wood as our savior. Let's teach our kids about a dead man nailed to a cross, and let's cheer that on.
No, thank you.
And there it is. The front of the church selling stuff. Yeah, growing up in church, that was always the weirdest thing for me, the most annoying thing for me. Stand up, sit down, stand up, sit down, stand up, sit down. Good little soldiers, you'll make good little prisoners.
The crazy part that I remember about church was drinking the blood of somebody and eating some bread and for their body. Like, that's kind of cannibalism, isn't it? It's kind of, I don't know.
Yeah,
What
they
is that
didn't like
programming?
it when I asked that question. Isn't that cannibalism?
Pretty messed up, if you ask me. I don't care what it symbolizes. You're symbolizing drinking someone's blood. That to me sounds like a satanic ritual.
Yeah, it sounds like some very dark witchcraft. No thanks. 'Cause I was born into a bunch of bullshit, and I saw through it and stepped out of the matrix. Yeah. Yes, so the other night, last night, we were walking through the streets of Mexico, and we finally found a pretty cool looking church, and it was all lit up and all of the light. It didn't look dark, it didn't look full of idols like all the other ones, and they were singing from their heart, and it was really beautiful. So they're like, yeah, come back tomorrow. So we're like, okay, we'll come back tomorrow. And today's tomorrow because there is no tomorrow, because today's still the day because there is no tomorrow. But here we are. And we went to there, and we walk in, and we sit down, and they're all just crying. They're all just like wailing, like, I don't know, that's what they do, I guess. And
Yeah.
you know, I was like, oh, this isn't really joyful. This isn't really what I was expecting, not really what I wanted to see.
Yeah.
And the guy comes up to us and says, in Spanish, you know, like, we don't sit together. Women don't sit with men here.
Yeah,
And
men
so,
on one side, women on the other.
so we got up and we
Yeah.
walked out. And then we just went to that other church that you just saw, just to check it out, just to see what they do. And now we're going to go do what we want to do. Not stand up and sit down. We're going to do
No,
whatever. We're going to
I'm gonna
follow
go.
our highest excitement.
My highest excitement is going to the park and doing yoga, because yoga means to yoke, right? To yoke,
Union
with God. This is your divine
Yes.
temple, and you are the divine and expressing itself as a unique emanation. So when I do yoga and get in tune with my body temple, I'm actually doing the best thing I can to unite with the divine. Yay.
Union divine union. That is yoga. Our temple, our church is our heart. Our body is our love temple. Our body is our church. We don't need to give our money to some other place
Yeah,
to
if
let
you want
people
to.
starve and be homeless outside of it. Like, no, thank you. We're just gonna take care of our own love temples and let our own love temple light shine so bright.
Whee!